Welcome to a unique episode of Right Here in Mass. It's been a little bit since I've jumped on and done a solo episode, actually, since almost 2 years ago when I launched our first podcast episode to give an overview of Massachusetts Business Network in terms of what it is and everything that we offer. And since so many exciting and wonderful changes have happened throughout the past nearly 2 years since launching in November 2022, I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to come back on the show alone and share more about those exciting updates, what we've done throughout the past 2 years, and share what's in the works. So firstly, if you are new to Massachusetts Business Network, and this is the first podcast episode that you're stumbling upon, welcome. If you're unfamiliar with Massachusetts Business Network, which I will abbreviate as MBN to keep things short and sweet, we are a free to low-cost resource that provides educational opportunities, networking and connections, and growth throughout the Massachusetts area. So whether you're an up-and-coming business owner or you're a seasoned professional, we aim to provide you with resources and connections that can help you continue to grow and thrive in your career. When we first started, we had just a blog, we had this podcast, and we had our business directory. But as I started to think about how I could continue to give back to the community and all of the business owners and professionals, I started to think about different resources that we could offer or different things that we could put together that would really continue to provide value. So if you've been following me along on this journey throughout the past 2 years, or even just in the past few months, I appreciate you, and I'm so grateful for the support that you've given. So I wanted to dive more into all of the resources that we offer now and explain them further so that way you are familiar with what they are and know how to take advantage of them. First and foremost, we'll start with the podcast, since that is what I'm speaking to you through right now. This podcast, called Right Here in Mass, is a weekly podcast that airs every Thursday at 5 a.m. Right Here in Mass aims to highlight some of the most amazing professionals and business owners in the state, to share who they are, what they're doing, what they're offering, cool things that they're putting together, really helping to amplify their voice. So the guests that come on our show are a mix of both business owners and then also, I'd say, corporate employees or people who might have an employer who are in a really great position for a really awesome company based here in Massachusetts. And these episodes are really set to inspire and provide a lot of creativity and ideas and just really cool conversations that are happening. So these episodes typically dive into the background of the person that I'm interviewing, kind of talking about their career to date, being able to share what led them to where they are today, asking them for advice that they would give to people looking to break into that industry, perhaps sharing some insights or tips or expertise on their zone of genius or on their industry that they're in. And of course, always asking them what their favorite local businesses are to support. We've had some super cool guests, some that you might recognize, some that you might not, but now are suddenly turned on to because of this podcast. So it's really nice to bring people across the state and connect people from all the way in the Berkshires to all the way to the Cape and Islands. And I love that because this is all virtual, of course. There's really no geographical boundaries, so there's no distance. It's possible to connect people through whatever podcast player you're using to listen to these episodes. So I highly encourage you to subscribe, leave a review to this podcast, and make sure that you bookmark it so that way you're able to get notified about the new episodes every Thursday. And also make sure that you're kind of staying in tune and listening to these as they come out. We do actively accept podcast guest pitches. We are currently working through a wait list, so we're not actively booking new people, so to say, but I'm always happy to hear from people who are interested in being a guest. So if you would like to be considered for the podcast, feel free to go to our contact form, fill out your information, share what would make you a great guest to have on Right Here in Mass, and I'll be in touch with you if it's the right fit. We have a lot of exciting things planned through the end of 2024 and start of 2025 for the podcast. So I'm super excited to bring these guests to your earbuds and to your ears and have you listening to some really cool episodes. So that covers the podcast. Secondly, we have the blog, which is the area that we produce the most amount of content without a doubt. The majority of our blog posts are guest blogs contributed by incredible experts in various industries throughout the state. So these incredible experts have written on topics in regards to marketing, mindset, leadership, finance. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And all of these people have amazing advice to give, and they are total geniuses in what they do. And it's such a cool opportunity for me to be able to help them amplify their voice and allow them to establish the thought leadership that they deserve. So it's really nice to be able to accept all of these different blog posts that we publish every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday and feature a variety of topics. This blog post, or these blog posts, I should say, have definitely become the hub that people go to on our website to learn about various topics and dive a little bit further into various areas and just help to get connected to new people. With blog posts, we are always accepting guest blog post pitches. So if you're interested in writing about any topic, chances are we will accept it. Really, the only caveat, or I should say the only two caveats we have with our guest blog posts are: one, we ask that they are original content, so they're not published elsewhere. They're brand new for Massachusetts Business Network. And two, we ask that they are written with a business person's presence or perspective in mind. So meaning if you are a landscaping company, it wouldn't necessarily be a fit for you to write a blog post for us on the topic of 5 tips for keeping your yard and grass healthy, because of the fact that we're speaking to business owners and we're speaking to career professionals. So on the flip side of that, if you are a landscaping company, you could write a blog post on the topic of 5 tips for starting your own landscaping business. And that would be relevant because it'd be directly speaking to the people who might be looking to break into the field and start their own company within the landscaping industry. With these blog posts, we majority focus on the guest blog posts that come through, but I also like to publish blog posts myself. So what I always do with the monthly webinars that we host, which I will talk a little bit more about in a little bit, is I always take the transcripts and take all of the awesome advice that our panelists shared during those webinars and turn them into a blog post. So that way, for our friends who don't necessarily love watching an entire 30 to 60-minute webinar, they're able to just read a blog post and get to the gist of the advice and tips that the experts had to share fairly quickly. So I always publish those each month. And then I'm also actively accepting press releases from relevant organizations. Those are typically posted on Fridays. So if your company or your nonprofit has really exciting news, you're always more than welcome to submit that press release either through email to me or through our contact form. If I feel that it's a fit for our audience and isn't actively promotional or trying to sell a product or service, I'll publish it. And that's always a great way for you to improve your SEO by being published on our website and linked to your website, and also just help to spread the word about everything that your organization is doing. That's really cool. So that's mainly what we focus on with the blog. We have those published, as I shared, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we've covered the podcast, we've covered the blog. Now let's hit up this business directory. Our business directory is a really cool directory that gives you the opportunity to list your business and have it categorized by the industry that you're in or what type of business it is, if it's family owned, if it's woman owned, if it's LGBTQ plus owned. There's so many different categories, tags, and filters that you can apply to it. With the business listing, we have free and paid versions. The paid is incredibly affordable at only $10 per month or $99 a year. And obviously with the paid listing, you can do so much more. You can include more contact information, you can include more photos, you can include a deeper bio or a deeper about section of your business. But if you're just looking for a simple listing to add to include your business name and your contact information for potential clients and customers to find you, free is the way to go. And of course, you're always more than welcome to upgrade your listing as time goes on, where if you have a free listing for a little bit and then eventually realize that you want to upgrade it and get more of the perks, then you're always more than welcome to do so. I always recommend that every business starts with listing their business within our directory because it's a great way to boost your SEO and get seen in front of potential clients and customers. People can also have the option to leave a review on your listing. So if you publish a listing through MBN's directory and want to share that link with your clients or customers, they have the opportunity to leave reviews on that listing and showcase how much of a professional and expert you truly are. So that's a really cool feature. With the directory, it's nice to have that link that you can also include in your website and be able to promote through your own social media and have a lot of fun with it. So we're always actively looking for new businesses to have. This is a great opportunity for any search engine optimization agencies who have SEO clients who are looking for directories to list their clients in. We're, of course, always an option. So I'd love to hear from you and hopefully see your business listed. Covered the podcast, covered the blog, covered the directory. Now the next thing that we offer is monthly webinars. So monthly webinars we launched probably about 6 months into having MBN. And I launched them because I realized that I wanted to offer something more beyond what we were offering. And I wanted to find a way for people to kind of like engage and interact with one another. And that's when I realized that hosting monthly webinars on a variety of topics would be a great way to do that. I was constantly fielding questions from people wanting to learn more about certain aspects of business or asking if I had recommendations for resources about specific topics or areas that I can point them to. So I said, you know what, why don't I create it? And that's why I launched that first webinar series, ultimately, which I believe was on SEO, if I remember correctly. But we have faithfully hosted them every month since. So these webinars are incredible. We bring on 3 guest experts that are an expert in the field or in the topic that we're going to be discussing. I end up promoting this event throughout the course of a month. People can join through Zoom. Super easy to sign up, super easy to get the link. And if you miss the live version, we actually send out the replay a few days after the webinar goes live. And that replay is also hosted on our website indefinitely. So if you're just stumbling across MBN and you want to watch a webinar that we hosted a year ago, you have the ability to do so. It involves signing up for something called MBN University, which is just a free membership program where we house all of these webinars where you can just watch them at any time. And maybe one day we'll host other resources there. But for now, this just houses all of our webinars that people can just go through and click and watch and share however they see fit. So it's always nice to have that opportunity to watch at your own pace or watch at your leisure, rather than feeling like you need to just be available right then and there, which of course isn't always possible with how busy life and work can get. So that covers the main bases of what we offer between our blog, our podcast, our directory, and our monthly webinars. What we do offer occasionally would also be live events. So I personally love meeting people in person and being able to just have that one-to-one connection, get a feel for what they do, see how I can support them, and just bring an awesome group of people together. I have hosted 2 events to date. We had our amazing launch party at Castle Island Brewing in Norwood back in May 2023. And in January 2024, we partnered with the Better Business Bureau to host a headshots and networking event, which was a lot of fun to just bring in people from throughout the South Coast area to meet one another at Berkeley Beer Company in Taunton, which is one of my favorite places, and get new headshots provided by the BBB. So it was really great to bring people together, and that was a huge success. I often get asked if I'm going to be hosting any events in the future, and I always say that that's TBD. I do love to host events, but one of the struggles that I have with it is that I'm personally located in Middleboro, which is in the South Coast or on the South Coast. And I don't want to necessarily be limited to only hosting events in this area. Like, I don't want to feel like people on the Cape and Islands are isolated and can't make it. I don't want to feel like the people out in Western Mass are isolated and can't make it. So trying to find a central location that will service, I guess the best way to put it, service the greatest amount of people is tough. Along with that, anyone who's listening to this who hosts events knows, if it's not your professional career being an event hoster, or an event planner, I should say, a lot of work goes into it. So a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of logistics. And I realized that it's not always possible for me to successfully plan and create tons of events to host for MBN. So personally, I like the idea of hosting an event once a year, maybe twice a year, and being able to make those really awesome knockout events compared to trying to host them on a much more consistent basis. Especially because, as I should share, for those of you who don't know me, I do own a marketing agency full-time called Dash of Social, which I've had for 8 years now. And so it definitely can be a little bit tricky to balance the full-time job with my passion project, aka MBN. So although I would love to host more events in the future, it's definitely something that's like a play it by ear strategy. But with that being said, I'm always looking to partner with other organizations that would be a great fit to co-host events with. So for example, as of this time of this recording, which is Monday, August 26th, 2024, I will be co-hosting 2 events with the BVB and with Amy from Bold Moves Company on September 12th and then also October 3rd. So these events are a lot of fun because I'll be co-hosting with 2 amazing companies / organizations and servicing both entrepreneurs and executives throughout the Massachusetts area. So it's really nice to just bring a whole bunch of brains together and be able to create something that's really awesome for everyone to enjoy. So I'm always open to ideas. If you would like to see a specific event that's live and not necessarily a webinar, feel free to fill out my contact form. I'm always looking to kind of get some suggestions and see how I can continue to provide some really solid value to our audience. So with that being said, what's next for MBN? I'm trying to think about what direction we can go in. I feel like we're just continuing to grow, and I'm constantly receiving or kind of noting different ideas of things that we could do and always thinking about ways that I can continue to provide value to our audience. So I feel like probably providing more educational resources will be a great thing to have in the future. I'm also diving into the opportunity to have sponsored content, being able to bring in organizations and businesses who truly stand behind the work that we're doing and helping us to provide even more work, I think is really important. And I think just finding ways to help businesses connect with their ideal clients or customers one-to-one, which is really important. So definitely thinking about how I can continue to educate and really be the hub for all business owners and career professionals to turn to when they need something. So if you're looking to think about or looking to stay in contact with us, I would love to welcome you into our circle. If you aren't a part of it yet, everyone has a seat at the table here. The easiest ways to find out what we're doing are to, of course, 1, bookmark our website, which is massachusettsbusinessnetwork.com. That'll, of course, house everything that you need to see and know, from our blog posts to our webinars, to our podcasts, to our business directory. That is the first and best place to start. Secondly, we are very active on social media. We post daily because we just have so much exciting stuff to share all the time. So I'd highly recommend following us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I would say that we're probably the most active on Facebook and Instagram, but check us out in any of those locations and make sure to follow along to see what we continue to produce. And of course, you definitely want to sign up for our email list. So you can sign up for our email list by grabbing our freebie, 9 Ways to Get Local Customers, which is located on our website. Just enter in your email address. You'll get access to that awesome PDF, if I don't say so myself, and you'll also get added to our email list. But anyone who creates an account through MBN or who creates a listing in our directory gets added to our email list as well. So you'll automatically be included that way. Also, if you sign up for our webinars, you get added to our email list there too. So definitely make sure that you sign up for our email list immediately if you aren't on it already. We send newsletters every week. So that's every Thursday. Sometimes we send them a few times a week, maybe 2 to 3 times. If we have an opportunity that we would like to share, or if we have a webinar replay that we need to share, you might receive 2 to 3 emails a week, but I would say it's usually one every Thursday morning. So make sure you follow along with us there, stay connected, and see everything that's happening. As I mentioned earlier, if you have any questions that you want to ask, or you have specific things that you would like to see that we offer, my inbox is always open. Feel free to email me at ashley@massachusettsbusinessnetwork.com, or you can fill out our contact form on our website, which is massachusettsbusinessnetwork.com/contact. And you can share your message there. But as I mentioned, being almost 2 years into this now, I am so grateful for all the support that I've received. I look forward to seeing what comes throughout the remainder of 2024 and also seeing what 2025 has to bring. I feel like it's going to be an incredible year of supporting other business owners and career professionals and just creating a really solid community. So thank you again for stopping by. As I mentioned at the start of this episode, if this is your first episode and your first introduction to MBN, I am truly thrilled that you're here and hope that you stick around and check out what we have to offer. But like I mentioned, my inbox is always open. If there's anything I can do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. And I look forward to staying in touch with you.